All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the final score of today's Cotton Bowl was not indicative of the overall dominance of the Alabama Crimson Tide, as they are once again moving on to the national championship game as a result of their 27-6 win today over the Cincinnati Bearcats. Now, the Bearcats hung tough, but for the second consecutive year, they lost their bowl game, a New Year's Six bowl game, to a team from the Southeastern Conferences. Last year, we saw Cincinnati lose to Georgia in the Peach Bowl. Now, today, Alabama's offense was able to amass 482 yards of total offense to just 218 for Cincinnati. Now, defensively, we saw the Bearcats bend early, but they didn't break as they were able to put pressure on Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. But overall, the Tide just have too many playmakers. And honestly, the play that put Alabama on track to get back to the national championship game was just before the end of the first half when Young connected with wide receiver Ja'Cory Brooks on a 44-yard touchdown pass to give them the 17-3 lead at the half. Now, overall, this Alabama defense put pressure on Cincinnati quarterback Desmond Ritter as they never allowed him to get into a rhythm all afternoon long. He was sacked 6 times. He was under consistent pressure, led by Will Anderson, who had 2 sacks. And overall, Ritter was just 17 of 32 passing for a buck 44 with no TDs. Uh, this Cincinnati defense, they had their hands full all afternoon long with Alabama running back Brian Robinson Jr., who had 204 yards on 26 carries as he really dictated the pace. And it wasn't just Brian Robinson Jr., it was also this Alabama offensive line. As you saw the plays coming into motion as they were there, multiple guys on that offensive line out in front, setting the way and pacing the way for Robinson to get through those holes, get to that second level. And then from there, of course, he was off to the races. Now, for Cincinnati, they don't have anything to be ashamed of because you're going to have those people out there who are going to say, well, Cincinnati didn't deserve to be there because they were not a Power Five school. I don't think so. The bottom line is Cincinnati was a very good team this year. They beat everybody in front of them. But honestly, they did the same thing that so many other good teams have done over the years, which is fall short to that onslaught from Alabama under Nick Saban. You saw it. It wasn't just about the team speed. It was all about Alabama's execution. And they dominated this game in the trenches. And that is a big reason why Alabama is heading back to the national championship game. Now, as Alabama prepares for the national championship game, it looks like they're going to be facing Georgia. Georgia right now is in the process of dominating Michigan in the Orange Bowl. And one thing that Alabama is going to have to do, they're going to have to protect Bryce Young because you look at this game today, Cincinnati, they saw some things in the recent game film, and they were able to put some pressure on Bryce Young and get him out of a rhythm. So that is definitely something that Alabama is going to have to work on. They definitely want to establish the running game once again with Brian Robinson. And then on top of that, now this offense has some confidence because they have a full game under their belts without John Mechie at wide receiver. We saw Slade Bolden step up today and have that opening touchdown of the game on the opening drive. You still have Jamison Williams out there at wide receiver as well. We saw the likes of Ja'Cory Brooks step up today. These are the type of guys that Alabama recruits. So if a guy goes down, there's another 4 or 5 star recruit that is there to take his respective spot. So that's going to be important for Alabama heading into that game. Defensively, they know they have to get after Georgia. It's going to be a situation. We know about the tight ends that Georgia has, but I think tonight we're seeing a different wrinkle from the Georgia offense. And of course, I'll talk about that more leading up to the game. But nonetheless, Alabama has put themselves in a position to repeat as national champions. This is what you go to Alabama for because you look at it, every single recruiting class that Nick Saban has had has won a national championship. So this is something that is very important to him. his legacy, and also, when he goes out there and talks to young men who are in high school to find out what they want to do for the next 3 to 4 years of their lives. This is what you go to Alabama for. He has the talent there. The talent was once again on display this afternoon in Arlington at the Cotton Bowl. And because of that, Alabama is 60 football minutes away from potentially repeating as national champions. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care, have yourselves a good day, and Happy New Year, and all the best in 2022.